You know, I never thought I would ever see the day that someone would apologize to Shayla and she started this entire thing. So since they don't want to give us the trip that we deserve, I guess I'm going to have to do it for us. So let's run this back because I'm actually really pissed off about this right now. So let's run this trip back to when Anthony told Shayla that Chase and Candace were already there. Okay, hear me out. When Shayla and Anthony gets to the penthouse, Chase and Candace already has the master bedroom. Both of them are laying in the bed. Anthony and Shayla makes it there. The bellhop escorts them to the second room. Shayla questions Anthony on why are they going to the second room? We should be going to the master bedroom. She walks into the master bedroom and she sees Candace and Chase in there, sleep. She gets upset. She wakes them up. They get into it for just a brief second. Anthony pulls Chase over to the side. Chase tells Anthony that due to the circumstances, he thinks he should get the master bedroom. They come to an agreement. They get the master bedroom. Anthony and Shayla gets the other two rooms on the other side of the penthouse. Shayla's pissed off. Then Candace goes off on Chase for not telling her in the first place that Anthony and Shayla were going to be there. Chase apologizes and he tells her, well, let's just make the best out of this trip. At least we have the master bedroom. Chase and Anthony goes out on the balcony and they try to plan something to get both of the women together, to try to make them forget about what just happened, what previously happened, and try to move forward. When they get to where they're going, Shayla's barking, constantly running her mouth, rolling her eyes. Candace tells her she might want to calm down because she didn't know that they was going to be on a trip in the first place, and Chase paid for this trip just as equally as Anthony did. Shayla hits Candace with the my man bullcrap. Candace hits Shayla with the are you sure that's your man? Because just a few weeks ago, your man was trying to get back with his wife. So are you sure that that's your man? Shayla's in disbelief. She gets upset and calls Candace a liar. Candace tells her, well, if I'm a liar, then why would he buy her earrings and flowers and ask me to help him get back with her? Oh, you thought you were number one? Honey, he only got you on this trip to shut you up. And you thought that baby was going to keep him? Is he even staying at your place? Or is he still staying at Piari's? Oh, you thought Chase didn't tell me about that? My husband tells me everything. Because that's what we are, husband and wife. Not someone else's husband and side chick. Shayla gets so upset that she wants to leave Jamaica. But Anthony tells her, we're already here. You need to make the best of it. And you shouldn't have came at her like that. They then all leave. Chase and Candace then goes for a walk along the side of the beach. Anthony and Shayla goes back to the penthouse. Shayla goes in the master bedroom and she packs up all of Candace and Chase's stuff and puts it in the second bedroom. Anthony tells her that he doesn't think that that's a good idea. Well, Chase and Candace gets upstairs and they see that their stuff have been moved. She goes and she confronts Shayla. They get into it again. Anthony says, well, I did try to stop her. Chase said, but why would y'all touch my stuff? Anthony says, well, you shouldn't have had it in the master bedroom, dude. What was our agreement? Chase sees Anthony for what and who he is, and Candace continues to see Shayla for what and who she is. Candace goes in the master bedroom and tells Shayla, so since you want to be petty and you want to go low, I'm going to go to hell. She takes Shayla's stuff and throws it off the balcony. Shayla gets upset at Anthony because he's not saying anything. He's too busy worried about them getting kicked out of the penthouse. Hotel security comes. Someone complained to the front office and said that they were being too loud. They need to quiet it down. However, they notice that there are clothes flying off the balcony. That's a safety hazard. They all get kicked out of the penthouse. Candace was lucky enough to find another room at another hotel. However, Anthony and Shayla were unable to book another room because the credit card was frozen. Amber reported fraud on the accounts, so Anthony cannot use his card. Shayla's upset. Anthony said, well, don't you have your own money? I can take care of this once we get back to the States. Let's just use your card. Shayla explains to Anthony that she doesn't have any money, and he's the man, so isn't this what he's for? Anthony and Shayla gets into it. Anthony sees Shayla for who and what she is. Shayla tells Anthony that she wants to get back home. Anthony tries to get Chase and Candace to let them stay on the couch. It didn't happen. But what did happen was that they were able to book an earlier flight. Chase and Candace were able to enjoy their time with Jamaica as husband and wife. And Shayla and Anthony had a miserable vacation, to which she goes back, tells her mother, and her mother tells her, you need to be Anthony's piece. And that is how you give us drama, but with a decent ending. Now that's a storyline I could live with. That's a storyline I could watch. But that there just pissed me off. Welcome to Skip Land.